Alright guys, TouchCrab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to talk about this Crimsix CODcast that came out a few days ago. There was a Clown of the Year award, and Crimsix decided to give it to none other than Samuel Octane LaRue, main assault rifle for the Seattle Surge, and will continue to be so through this current season. One of the greatest players in terms of statistics and in terms of pure aim and ability over the last several years, but definitely didn't have a great Modern Warfare season to follow on from really a fantastic Black Ops 4 season on the 100 Thieves squad, where he did so well. And looking forward to the future of the Seattle Surge, does a great path lie ahead? Not necessarily, especially considering the team that Octane could have had that we're going to go through in the coming minutes here. Like, if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Octane was, as you can see, actually on the Scuff Team of the Year. This was kind of like fan voted, I suppose. People kind of gave it to Octane for a reason here, because he had a difficult year. Someone helped Sam, all this kind of stuff. But you know, Crimsix isn't so convinced. A number of players are talking about, look, Octane had great stats on the Seattle Surge, but he was actually part of the problem, or he was the main problem on the team, you could argue. And definitely this is a really interesting discussion that we always have in Call of Duty when main ARs are putting up numbers, which you expect them to do, but their SMGs are just not performing great, and it's the ARs that are putting up 1.3s, 1.4s, but yet the team is losing. And the question is, should the main AR be doing more to help their SMG players? Are they just leaving them out to dry? We saw this especially on the London Royal Ravens early season, when Waskin had a 1.4, but everyone else on the team had a 0.9, and they were losing everything. When Waskin at Champs had a 1.0 and the rest of the team were contributing, that's actually when they were the best version of their team. So not to say the ARs need to drop off, but it's just an element of synergy within the team that needs to be present. And typically that means your Octane or your Waskin or your main assault rifle isn't dropping a 1.3 or 1.4. The team is more cohesive, and the team, the individual players, are doing what they need to do at a certain time and giving up their life if they have to make space for the rest of the squad. Not always the case, but certainly Crimsix would say that Octane was actually the problem on this team to some degree. And we're going to look at as well the team that he could potentially have had for the previous season of competitive Call of Duty play. That's the clip we'll look at first. He did a Q&A quite recently talking about how Hook, that being Kyler in the clip, reached out to him and asked him if he wanted to play with Illy, and well, Shotzi would potentially have come into that team. So Octane could have been on the Dallas Empire, and this may be part of the reason why Crimsix said what he did, is because Octane could have been on the Dallas Empire, the potential World Championship winning squad. Let's look at that clip first, then we'll go into the Crimsix one.
Next one is from Simia. Biggest regret of last year's offseason regarding who I could have teamed with. Hindsight in full effect here. I could have teamed with Kyler, Shotzi, and Illy on Dallas. I really didn't want to take a chance on new talent, though, which in hindsight, again, stupid of me. But, you know, I was approached by Kyler team. I didn't know Shotzi was going to end up there. That situation was weird. But Kyler approached me about him and Illy. I didn't know he just turned 18. I didn't know if he was going to be good at Variant because he was an S&D star, obviously, before. I'm an idiot. We're going to move on to the next question.
Clown of the Year.
Yeah, we got to give a season of clown. We do weekly clown, but we got to give somebody the yearly clown award.
For Modern Warfare, the yearly clown?
Player?
No. Just anyone involved in the community.
Seaside.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm joking.
Can we do both?
No, we just do involved in COD. Well, yeah, we can do player.
Yeah.
It's not Seaside.
I got a fucking hot take.
All right,
go for
it.
Octane. Clown.
Whoa.
That's not that hot of a take.
That's kind of a hot take, bro. I don't know. He was on your Scuff Gaming team.
The inner circle of COD players, a lot of people don't like how he was handling the year.
Well, okay, well he was taking it well, and then there has to have been a point where he just broke and said fuck it.
Yeah.
Because bro, I remember scrimming them, dude, and I was just thinking to myself dude, I think Octane's the problem here. And I was just and not like he was killing it, left and right, and living up to that in terms of his reputation and shit. But then I would see shit where you pull out a sub all of a sudden, or you fucking swap to dead silence, or just went rogue. And I'm thinking dude, don't you gotta play champs?
Yeah.
Fucking 2 days from now. It was an S&D. We had an S&D scrim, and he ran a sub on an entire map, and literally they played the next day, and I was like, bro, you really don't give a fuck, bro. Yeah. And then I mean, and he got fined so many times, and it's And yeah, like whether he's wrong or right, like I'm not here to, you know, judge or anything, but I'm not here to even blame him for like losing it like that. But I mean, I don't know. It was like
there you have it, guys. He's the yearly clown.
I also thought all the fines in the videos were fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they were.
So these are the season statistics courtesy of Cam Allen here, and as you can see, Apathy with a 0.97, Enable with a 0.83 when he was in the team, Karma 0.91, Octane 1.25, Slackton, well, everyone on the team negative apart from Octane, right? And there's no doubt that Octane's a great assault rifle. I think you could put him in a number of teams and he'd probably improve them to some degree, but this team obviously was a bit of a shambles, and as Crimsix was saying, he's not particularly impressed with what Octane actually brought to the table here, and thinks if anything, he was the problem at times, like he didn't care enough, like he wasn't putting the hard graft in practice, he wasn't trying to improve the team. He was quite happy to rock back with his 1.2, 1.3 on a lot of maps and let his SMGs out to dry, and well, he would just sit there and gather up all the praise, I suppose, of the fans, whereas his team would actually still be losing, right? And I'm sure Octane wants to win, but I'm sure he's making a lot of money on this team as well, and this team obviously was tragic this season. They came last place at the World Championship, they didn't win any prize money, and Octane and the Seattle Surge decided to, well, the Seattle Surge decided to extend Octane's contract for next season, because I imagine if they released him as a free agent, he would have been snapped up elsewhere and got onto a different team. These then are the Seattle Surge's results. Look at how tragic this is. Launch weekend, they don't win a single series. I think they lost a couple of game 5s here. Then, you know, they managed to win like one series at the London and the Los Angeles Opens. Most of these series are against the Los Angeles Gorillas. And yeah, Dallas, they actually managed to come top 4 at Chicago, but they only did that by beating LAG twice, which is the team they would always beat early season. Then, of course, the Karma retirement situation happens. The team doesn't get any better. No surprises there. And they finished last place at the Call of Duty World League Championship, I think losing to Paris in that very first round matchup. So Octane, for all his talents as a player, has an absolutely woeful season, especially given what's happened in the past. And Crimsix would say that, like, look, the rest of this team wasn't exactly great by any means, but Octane wasn't doing his utmost to actually help that team be as good as it could be. Because you imagine that with the talent on this squad at times, they would have got some better results than this, right? Like a consistent top 8 placing. Definitely felt like the drive wasn't there, the belief wasn't there for this squad. And well, Crimsix says Octane was certainly a part of that. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, especially really what interests me is the possibility that Octane actually turned down the opportunity to team with Hook and Illy and potentially Shotzi, right? Because if that's a team, I mean, like, damn, like Hook, Illy, Shotzi, Octane, especially in a 5v5 environment when maybe you have Octane in, then do you have Crim on that team as well? Like, that could possibly work. Do you have Clayster on that team as well? Not exactly sure what they would do. Probably Crimsix would make more sense because Crim and Octane teamed together in the past in the World War II days on the OpTic gaming squad. That didn't exactly work out too great though, so maybe that's not the direction you want to go in, but that could have been an absolutely disgusting team in theory, and in a 5v5 environment that might have worked very nicely indeed. I wonder what they would have done. Like, if the squad was Octane, Crimsix, and then the 3 guys, they would certainly have kept Hook, Illy, Shotzi going into the Black Ops Cold War season. Would they have kept Crim? Would they have kept Octane? I imagine they would have still kept Crim. If you're getting rid of Clay, you're probably going to get rid of Octane in that environment, so maybe he wouldn't be in the greatest position now, even if that was the case. But, you know, who knows, right? If you go through the season with Octane on that squad instead of Clayster, they may not have been as good. They may not have had that, like, the drive and the hype man, I suppose, on the team. But yeah, then again, Octane had the opportunity to team with him. It was on the table. He turned it down and, well, didn't have the greatest season, as you can see on screen right here. Crimsix does, though, talk about the entertainment factor that Octane has provided this season. I mean, he's saying, if you guys want to help me pay fines, use code Octane. And as Octane's burner says right here, all these my favorite CDL All-Star, competitive integrity strikes again, like all this kind of stuff that we talked about at some length at the time was very entertaining stuff from Octane this entire season long. And as Crimsix is saying, maybe he was a bit of a clown to some degree, but certainly provided some significant entertainment factor from the CDL this season. Couple of things before we finish off the video. Slasher tweeted this out, which I thought was pretty funny. As soon as Shotzi figures out how to slide cancel next year, emergency GA using this like Among Us meme with Slash's eyes over this guy right here. Thought this was pretty hilarious. And there was a great episode of the Eavesdrop podcast recently with Hastro and Hector. And as Embos is saying at Hex at Hastro, either keep 3 players or keep Hook. Decided to keep Hook every single time. And this is the clip right here, which will finish off the video from Hastro talking about how, you know, he had the opportunity to keep Hook all these times or keep the rest of the team. And he effectively just dropped everyone to keep building around Hook for these last couple of seasons. And well, that has worked out for the better in the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. and I will see you next time.
The players are the ones that really drove the league to make that change back to 4v4.
No, they drive the majority of. I mean, look, they have GAs, right? They drive the way that this thing's played.
Yeah, we, as owners, we're the ones that make the changes for them. It's what they want.
We work for the players, right? Like we have a CEO role, and we essentially our say goes, but we're essentially working for the players.
You gotta keep them happy.
Yeah.
Of
course.
Those guys happy.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Like it's when you're making the decision between one player and three, you're like, am I gonna make one player happy, or am I gonna get and three mad at me for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do in a situation like that?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times with Hook. It's like it's either you keep three players or you keep Hook.
Yeah.
You kept Hook.
Yeah.